Hello guys. I welcome you all to our next session. We have already done one lecture of chapter heat. Now we are here in the second lecture of this heat chapter. So in the previous class, we have already learned about what is heat. We have got the basic idea, and we have also learned what about temperature. Then what was the need of temperature? How to measure that temperature? We have seen all these things. Okay. So today we are going with the next part of the chapter. Okay, that is considered with the heat transfer. So if I give you one daily life example regarding this, all of you have moms in your home. So mom makes food in the kitchen. What she does, she makes food in a pan. Yeah, there is a fry pan. So she put the fry pan over the gas burner and make the food. So what actually happening here, the flame from the burners is hitting the pan, and then you are able to make the vegetables or food. Okay, so what is happening there? If you see, once your mom removed the pan from the burner, what happens after some time? The pan gets cooler. Yes or no? So what is happening? Once the pan was above the burner, there was the transfer of heat from the burner to the pan, so that the temperature of the pan increased or it gets hot. But what happens when you remove the burner? Then the heat of the burner, I can say the hotness of the burner, is transferred to the surroundings. So what is basically taking place? Heat transfer. So in every body or in every part of the nature, if I say heat transfer always takes place. Heat transfer is always taking place. And one thing is also, you can see that heat always transfers from hotter body to the colder body. Heat always transfers from the hotter body to colder body. So that transfer of heat can be by different methods. So today in this lecture, we are considering 3 different methods of heat transfers. Okay, so the thing is clear what we are going to study today. Okay, so let's start. Okay. Yeah, so we are starting the second lecture of heat. So what we are going to study today? We are going to study the methods of heat transfer. I have already told you what is heat transfer. I have given you the basic idea that heat transfer always takes place from hot body to colder body. Okay, and it can be take place by 3 methods: conduction, convection, and radiation. So basically, we are going to see these 3 methods in detail in today's lecture. Okay, so the thing is clear. You can see a pen here. Yeah, it is showing both these 3 methods: conduction, convection, as well as radiation. So we will see what these mean basically. Okay, so first of all, we start with a method conduction. Okay, so before going into that, I'll do activity. We will do a activity. Suppose we will take a aluminum rod. Suppose we are taking a aluminum rod, or you can take a iron rod also. Okay, so we can take either aluminum rod and place pieces of wax. Places pieces of wax at some distance apart from each other. These are pieces of wax. Pieces of wax. Candle. And put a candle over here. So this candle is lighting this aluminum rod, and fix this aluminum rod on a stand. If you don't have any stand, you can also put it between 2 bricks. Okay. So what will you observe after some time? That these wax will start melting. These wax are starting melting from one by one, starting from this end. So you will observe first of all the end which was just below the candle. The wax melted here first. Wax melted here first. Then this one, and finally. So what is happening? The transfer of heat is taking place from the hotter end, the end which is just below the candle. So the transfer of heat is taking place from the hotter end to the colder end of the rod. Hotter end to the colder end of the rod. So whenever transfer of heat takes place from hotter end to the colder end of the rod or any body, that is by physical means, because there is physical continuation or physical contact between hotter end and colder end. So that type of heat transfer is known as conduction. So whenever heat transfer takes place from hotter end or colder end, or you can say by physical contact. So whenever heat transfer takes place from physical contact from hotter end to colder end, then that process is known as conduction method. So basically, if you can see, if I say conduction process prevails everywhere, yeah, not everywhere, but yeah, one thing is sure, it transfers from hotter end to colder end, hotter end to colder end. Suppose let's take the example of pen again. This is a pen. It has got a wooden handle. If you see, this is a wooden handle. Why there is wooden handle? So that you will be easily able to pick the pen once it is hot. So what is the basic reason there? From the burner, heat has been transferred to this pen by the method which is known as conduction due to the physical contact. Okay. But yeah, you are still able to touch this wooden handle. It is not so hot, it is kind of cold. So what is the reason for that? So for that, you can do one activity. Take a beaker or take a burner, put some water in it and heat that water. Heat that water. And now take that hot water into a beaker. So I have just make a water hot and I have kept this hot water in this beaker. Now place some objects. Suppose I am taking a steel spoon, pencil. Okay. Like I am taking a steel spoon. I am taking pencil. You can also take divider from your geometry box and place these objects in the hot water for 1 or 2 minutes. Now touch the other end of the objects which is outside the water after 1 or 2 minutes. What you will feel? You will feel that this steel spoon is hot, but this pencil is cold and this divider is also hot. So isn't it that the transfer of heat is not taking place from this pencil? That is not the case. That is not the case, although the transfer of heat is taking place. But yeah, there are some materials which allow the heat to transfer through them. There are some materials which allow the heat to transfer from them. So that materials which allow the heat to transfer through them are known as conductors. So what are conductors? The materials which allow the transfer of heat through them are known as conductors. So basically, if I give the example of conductor, these are iron, copper. So iron, copper are the example of conductors. And you can also see the electric wiring in your house is made up of copper. Yeah, because copper is a good conductor of electricity. Yeah, or heat as well. There are certain devices or certain materials which do not allow the transfer of heat through them easily. So the pencil is example of that. So what was pencil doing? There was transfer of heat taking place is pencil. But what was happening? Pencil is made up of insulator. The materials which do not allow the transfer of heat through them are known as insulators. That's why there was no transfer of heat from water to the pencil. So the pencil was not hot. Okay. So the another type of materials are known as insulators. So insulators are those materials which do not allow heat to pass through them. And what are conductors? They allow heat to transfer to them. Okay, so we have given example of conductor as iron and copper. What are the example of insulators? Example of insulator can be wood, can be rubber. Okay, so these are the basic examples of insulator. So yeah, conduction process requires physical contacts. Transfer of heat takes place from hotter end to the colder end of the object, and the rate of transfer will depend upon the material. If material is conductor, transfer of heat will take place easily. If material is insulator, that is the material which do not allow heat to pass through them, then the transfer of heat will not take place easily. Done. Okay, now we'll go into the definition part of conduction, that what is actually happening in conduction. We are basically understanding the chemistry behind the conduction. So conduction is the heat transfer process where transfer of heat is taking place by means of molecular excitement within a material without bulk motion of the matter. So what is meaning here? If you can see in this picture, there is a glass rod. This is a glass rod. What is happening? It is heated by some flame. So what is happening? There is no actual movement of the molecules. Whatever molecules are present at the hotter end. Suppose these are the red molecules. Red or molecules are hot because they are near to the flame. So once these are getting heated, they get some excitation energy. So that is written as molecular excitement in the definition. So once they get heated, they get excited, then they transfer their energy to the corresponding molecules in the forward path. Yeah, that white molecule sequence. So in this picture, you can see these white molecules which were previously white now getting converted into red. See this? These white molecules are now getting converted into red ones because these molecules which were near to the flame are transferring their excitation energy to these forward molecules. So that's why transfer of energy, or that's how transfer of heat takes place from hotter end, because at hotter end molecules are excited. So these excited molecules transfer their energy to the forward molecules which were colder. So they also get excited, and that's how the transfer of energy takes place without actual motion of the matter. Without actual motion of the matter, that is written as without bulk motion of the matter. So I think this conduction process is clear. So that's why the conduction process is mainly observed in solids. Conduction process is mainly observed in solids. Mainly observed in solids, because in liquids and gases you will not easily find physical contact from hotter part or the colder part. Okay. So one thing you should always remember, that heat transfer always takes place from hotter to colder object. Hotter to colder object. So one question will arise in your mind. Sir, what will happen if the temperature of both the bodies are same? The temperature, which we learned in the last class, if the temperature of both the bodies are same, so then what will happen? Then no energy transfer will take place or no heat transfer will take place. Why? Because both are having same temperature. So you can write, if temperature is same, there will be no heat transfer. There will be no heat transfer. So heat transfer only take place if there is temperature difference, or you can say from the hotter body to the colder body, or from the hotter end to the colder end in case of conduction. So I think this conduction process is clear. Now if you can see in this right picture, there is some flame of fire. One person is holding this glass rod, another person is holding this metal rod. So out of this person, suppose I name this person as A and I name this person as B, which person will burn their hand first? A or B? Who will burn its hand first? So what's your answer? What's your take? Think. Okay. So the answer will be B. So the answer or the reason for this explanation that B will burn their hands first is that metal is a conductor, glass rod is a insulator. So if you remember, what was insulator? That are not allowing the heat to pass through them easily. And conductors are those materials which easily allow the transfer of heat through them. So whenever this metal rod is just placed above flame, this part will get heated, and due to conduction, the heat will transfer from this end to this end easily. So as soon as the heat reaches this end, this person will burn its hand first. But in the case of glass rod, if this end is getting heated, the energy is not getting easily over this hand because it is an insulator. So that's why it will not feel cold. The same example it will not feel hot. The same example I have given in the case of pen. That why pen has a wooden handle? Because wood is a insulator, so that will not make the wooden material hot. Although the pen is hot because through the conduction, but the wood portion or the wood handle will be cold because it is insulator, so that you will be easily able to lift the pen with your hands. So I think this conduction process is done. Thumbs up. So conduction process is physical contact process mainly observed in solids, where transfer of heat takes place from hotter to colder objects or hotter to colder end. Okay, so I hope this conduction is clear. Give us a thumbs up, guys. Okay, moving on to the next process, which is convection. So before going into this process, let's take an activity. Suppose we are taking a beaker like this, put some water in this beaker. Okay, we are putting some water in this beaker, and I am indirectly heating it with a burner. I am not directly heating it. I have placed a tray here, and I am placing a burner here, and I am now heating this water. Okay. So for observation, what I have done, I have kept a potassium permanganate crystal in the bottom of the beaker also. This is potassium permanganate crystal. So what is the use of that? It gives some color which is violet. So that color will give you some observations. So what will you observe? That after some time, this lower portion of the water, the lower portion which was at the bottom of the beaker, will start heating due to the nearness to the flame. Yeah, flame is near to the bottom of the beaker. So this portion of water will start heating, and it will start moving upward. That you will see by which observation the violet color of the potassium permanganate will start moving upward like this from the sides. And the water which was on the upper side or which was away from the flame will start moving downward. That is the colder water. That is the colder water. So what is actually happening? The portion of the water which was near to the flame gets hotter first. Due to the hotness, its density get decreased and it will rise up. That you can observe from the color of the potential permanganate, violet color going upward. At the same point, the colder water which was above the hotter water will start coming down through the sides. Okay. Then it will again get hot. Then it will rise. And the portion of the water which was at the top or above the hotter portion will come downward through the sides. And again it will get hot. So this is a continuous process in which layer by layer the water is getting heated. Getting my point? Layer by layer. First, the bottommost layer get heated, it goes upward. The consecutive upward layer comes downward, it gets heated. After heating, it goes upward. Then the remaining portion of the water which was cold gets to the downward and get heated. So that's why the complete portion of the water gets heated. So in this method, if you can observe, there is no direct contact. There is no direct contact. There is some transfer of energy one by one, layer by layer. So this process of transfer of energy is known as convection. This transfer of energy process is known as convection, which is basically observed in liquids and gases. Okay. So in the case of liquid, we have seen what will happen in the case of gases. Suppose this is ground. Okay. There is air present everywhere. So during summer days, the air near the ground will get heated. Air near the ground will get heated first due to the nearness to the land. So this air will go into upward direction because its density will get decreased due to increase in temperature. So now the air which was above this hot air will come downward. This cooler or hotter air will go upward. So again, this is the process which is known as convection. So in convection, heating or heat transfer is taking place step by step. It is not by direct physical contact. First of all, first layer gets heated, it goes upward. Second layer comes downward, it gets heated. So it's a continuous process, layer by layer, both in the case of liquid and gases. So one thing is clear, no physical contact is required. No physical contact is required, but only a medium is required. Only a medium is required through which heat transfer will take place. So only a medium is required, no physical contact is required in case of convection process. You can also see an example. Take a candle, place your one hand just vertically above the candle and place one hand just here. So one hand is right at the side of the candle and one hand is above the candle. So which one will feel hotter? Obviously the hand which is above the candle will feel hotter. Yes or no? Because the energy transfer through the candle is now taking place through the process which is known as convection, because there is no physical contact between burner and the hand. So this is convection. But the hand which is in the side of the candle will not feel hot because convection process is not taking place here. So I think the convection process is clear. Now we will go to the definition part, that what is convection. When a fluid, which is liquid or air, so liquid and gases are combinedly known as fluid. So when a fluid such as air or liquid is heated and then travels away from the source, it carries the thermal energy along. So the particles or the molecules of air and liquid are taking the thermal energy. This type of heat transfer is called convection. The fluid above a hot surface expands, becomes less dense and rises. This I have already explained. The fluid which is directly above the hot surface gets heated or expands, its density decreases and it rises. So the alternate layer which is above the hot portion, it comes down and it gets heated. This is a continuous process. So a space heater is a classic convention example of this convection process. You can see in this diagram again. This is a burner or candle. So the portion of the water which is near to this one gets heated first. It will rise. Once it will rise, suppose this layer is coming. You can see this diagram. Yeah, this is coming. So what is coming here? The hotter water is getting upward and this colder water is coming downward like this. So this is the process of convection in case of liquids, layer by layer. And now you can see in a room, gas molecules are present. So whenever there is a fire inside a room, these red molecules are near to the fire first. So these red molecules which are near to the fire are getting heated first. Now once they are heated, they will shift upwards. And these blue molecules which are colder one will get downward. So now they will get heated. So by this process, entire room will get hot after some time when all the molecules of air present in the room are heated by the process which is known as convection. So convection is a process mainly observed in liquids and gases. It does not require any physical contact, but yeah, it requires one medium. It requires one medium to heat transfer. Okay. Clear? Now one basic example of convection which I can give you is the coastal areas. The people who live in coastal areas easily observe this phenomena. So I'm explaining this phenomena now, which is known as land breeze and sea breeze. Sea breeze. Okay, these are the two common phenomena. So what is, first of all, talk about sea breeze. What happens during the daytime? So you can see sun is here. So the land is warm. In the daytime, the land is warm than the water. Because land easily gets warm in comparison to the water. So this is warm. So whatever air is present near the land is warm. Whatever air is present near the land or near the coastal area is warm. And the air which is present over the ocean is colder. This air is colder in comparison to this air over the land. So what happens if you remember the convection process? This warm air will move towards the colder air. And then colder air will come towards the flame. So the flame in this example is land, because land is heating the air. So this land is heating the air. So once this air near the land gets heated, it travels towards the colder portion, and the colder layer above the ocean will come towards the land so that it will get heated. So this colder air which is coming towards the sea or which is coming towards the land from the sea is known as sea breeze. So whatever colder air is coming to the land from the sea is known as sea breeze. That's why people who lives in coastal areas keep their windows towards the ocean. So that they get the colder breeze. Which is coming from the sea towards the land. This process is due to the convection. The air above the land is heated. It will go towards the colder air, and colder air from the ocean will come towards the land to get heated. This was the process of convection. Clear? And the medium here is atmosphere. Through which it is taking place. Now another phenomenon is known as land breeze. So what happens in night? Water gets colder in less time or in more time. Water takes more time to get cold. Land cools more easily. So land has a property that it gets easily warm as well as it gets easily cool. So during the night, land is cool and this water is hot. So what will happen? The hotter air which is now present over water will go towards the portion of colder air, and the colder air from land will move towards the water to get heated due to the process which is known as convection. So at night, the process is reversed. Now the water is hot. So the air above the water is hot. So it will move towards the colder air portion, and the colder air from the land will now move towards the water to get heated by the process of convection. So here what is happening? Cold air is moving from land towards the sea. Colder air is moving from the land towards the sea. That's why it is known as land breeze. So I think these two processes are clear, sea breeze and land breeze. Sea breeze happens during the daytime by the process of convection. Land breeze happens during the nighttime by the process of convection. So I think now the convection process is crystal clear, I hope. Yeah, thumbs up guys. Okay. So now we'll move to the last method of heat transfer, which is radiation. So if I talk about radiation, the common example I can give you is of sun. We all get heat from sun. Yeah, we all get heat from sun. So you know this is sun and we are very far away from the sun. This is a person on the earth. And still you feel warm. Still you feel the heat due to the sun. Why? Because there is so much distance between the sun and the earth. Still you are feeling the heat of sun. So that heat from the sun is getting transferred to you by a process which is known as radiation. So radiation is that process of heat transfer which do not require medium. Because in the case of conduction and convection, you have seen medium was required. In conduction, solid or body should be required or physical contact is required. In convection, some medium should be required for the transfer of heat. But in case of radiation, it does not require any medium. Does not require any medium. That is the speciality of radiation process. Okay. So we can see easy example of radiation, that the heat which we are getting from the sun is from the space coming to the earth. So that is does not requiring any medium, directly coming. So this is known as radiation, where heat transfers in the form of radiation. And radiation means waves. So waves are coming which carry the energy, and these energy are getting transferred from one body to another body without any medium. So that is known as radiation. First of all, read the definition. Heat transfer due to the emission of electromagnetic waves is known as thermal radiation. Okay. Heat transfer through radiation takes place in form of electromagnetic waves. Underline this. Mainly in the infrared region. This is the region of infrared electromagnetic waves in which transfer of energy takes place. So radiation emitted by a body is a consequence of thermal agitation of its composing molecules. So it means that radiation is due to the whatever body is giving radiation, it is due to the molecules which are present in the body. Whatever body is giving the radiation, the molecules which are present on the body of that body will produce some radiation. Okay. So radiation is present everywhere. If I say every body or every body radiates, either you can take some object, you can also take the example of human body. Yeah, every body, suppose sun, human body, everything radiates. The thing is that the energy which is radiating, when it is incident on any other body, the energy, suppose this is the radiation from any object. This radiation is coming from any object. Suppose it falls on any other object. It is falling on any other object. So it has three options. Either it can absorb it, either it can reflect it, yeah, or it can transmit it. Transmit means like this, reflection means getting back, and absorbs means just keeping it here. So whenever any body or object radiates energy, and the other object on which that radiations are falling are absorbing the radiation, then the temperature of that object increases. Temperature of that object increases. That temperature is due to the absorption of heat, and that process is known as radiation process, in which you are observing the heat, you are absorbing the heat without any physical contact, just by the radiations. So every body in the universe radiates. The thing is that other body can be radiating, can be transmitting, can be reflecting the heat. Okay. So this is the process of radiation. So the basic application of radiation process, which you can see, is during winter and summer. During winters and summers. So what we do during winters and summer, if you observe, if I give you an example, let's take two cans. This is a black color can. This is a white color can. Suppose both are made up of the same material, tin. These both are tin cans. One is having black color, another is having white color. Place some water in both the cans. Place some water in both the cans and put these cans open to the sun. Okay. After 1 hour, observe the observations. So after 1 hour, you will observe the tin can with the white color has water less hot, and the can with the black color has water red hot. So what was the difference here? Although the material was same, both the cans were made up of tin, both were present under the sun, same atmosphere. So what was the difference? The difference was due to the color. Because black color is a property of absorbing all the heats. Black color is a good absorber of heat, and white color is a good reflector of heat. Reflector means, suppose this heat is coming and it is getting back along, reflected. So this is reflector. So white color or lighter color objects are good reflectors, and black or dark color objects are good absorbers. So that's why during summertime, if I say the temperature is hot, so if you wear some dark clothes in the summer days, what will happen? Suppose you are wearing, in the summer days I am talking about, in the summer days, you are wearing black color cloth. So what this black color will do? The high temperature of sun will get absorbed by this black color, and you will feel very hot. that you will not like in the summer season. What you want in summer season is some coldness. So what you prefer to wear? You prefer to wear light color clothes, because the radiations or the heat coming from the sun will get reflected now. So you will not feel very much hot in comparison to the black color. So that is the reason during summer days we prefer to wear light color objects or light color clothes or white clothes. But what happens in winter? In winter you need warmness because the temperature is so low. You need warmness. So you prefer to wear black color or dark color objects. You prefer to wear black color or dark color objects, or I can say woolen clothes. Because woolen cloths or black or dark color objects has a property of good absorber. So whatever sun or whatever heat is coming from the sun, that black color clothes or woolen clothes will absorb that energy, and your body temperature will get increased, and you will feel comfortable in a winter season of low temperature. So that is the application of radiation. Okay. So I think this thing is also clear. What is radiation? Important thing or important difference is that conduction and convection requires medium. Okay. Radiation process do not requires any medium. And every body produces radiation, and every other body can transmit the radiation, can reflect the radiation, or can absorb the radiation. This thing is clear. So we have seen the application of radiation in winter and summer also. So I think all the concepts, conduction, convection, and radiation are crystal clear. Thumbs up, guys. Okay. So I have made every concept simple by giving you real life examples or daily activities involved also. Okay. Now we'll summarize all these concepts in a video. I'll summarize all these concepts by a video. So let's watch this video.
Keep an object near burning wood. It becomes hot because of heat transfer.
Yeah, we have learned whenever you keep an object in a burning wood, it becomes hot due to the heat transfer.
In this video, we will learn about different ways in which transfer of heat can take place.
Okay, so we are going to basically learn different ways to transfer heat, that is conduction, convection, and radiation. We have already seen that. Now we are summarizing all we have learned in today's lecture.
It can be transferred from one object to other by conduction, or convection, or radiation. Heat from one object gets transferred to other object by direct contact.
Now you are seeing this hot object was in direct contact with this cold object. So this red hot object, it's transferring its energy to the cold object like this by physical contact. That is the conduction.
It is known as conduction. For example, when we make tea, heat from stove gets transferred to...
Yeah, same example. When you make any tea or any food, heat from the stove gets transferred to the utensil or pan directly by the process conduction.
Heat pan because of direct contact, and thus this is conduction. When you iron your clothes, heat energy gets conducted from iron to clothes.
See, there is also physical contact in ironing your clothes. So again, this is the example of conduction process. Heat transferring takes place from conduction because physical contact is there between iron and cloth.
Convection method. Movement of particles of liquid or gas cause transfer of heat from heat source. Let's take an example of...
Okay, so their movement of particles is actually causing the transfer of heat. So let's see what is saying.
Water. As we heat it, water particles near the heat source gets heated first.
You can see these red particles are the particles near to the heat source. So these are getting heated first.
Know that addition of heat causes increase in movement of particles. Thus these particles move randomly and a relatively empty space is formed.
So you can see these hotter particles have now moved upward. So now see what will happen.
Space. Particles from far areas move here. These particles...
So now see these particles from the colder surface is now coming downwards. Hotter particles have gone upward.
Energy and move away.
Now they will again get heated and this process will again get repeated.
It goes on and whole water becomes hot. Conduction and convection. There is a medium in which heat gets transferred.
So in conduction and convection, there is a medium through which heat is transferred.
There is no medium between sun and earth. Still we get heat from it.
Now see, There is no medium between sun and earth, and still you are getting heat from the sun. So that is due to radiation, no medium required.
Heat transfer takes place without any medium. It is called radiation.
See, whenever heat transfer takes place without any medium, that is known as radiation.
You must have seen people sitting around the fire. Here too, heat is transferred in the form of.
See, this example is of campfire. You all have seen campfire. So whenever people sit around this campfire, what happens? The radiation of heat is taking place from the fire to your body. That's why on a colder night, you feel warm when you are sitting near the campfire.
In fact, every hot body radiates heat and becomes cold.
See, every hot body or every object radiates energy, and after radiation, it gets cold because it has transferred its energy to another object or to the surroundings.
Let's take an example of.
Now, this is the best example, which will give you all the three processes: conduction, convection, radiation happening at the same time. So see it carefully.
Boiling water on a stove. On a stove, heat conducts to pot as it is directly in contact. Due to convection, all the water particles receive heat. Bring your hand very close to side of the pot. You will feel little hotness. This is because radiations coming from pot.
Now see all the three processes. Heat is transferring to the pan by the burner directly. This is conduction. What is convection? Water molecules are getting heated which are near to the bottom of the pan. These hot water molecules will move upward. Colder molecules will get downward. So this is the process of convection. And when you bring your hand near to the flame, you will feel warm. So that warmness is due to the radiation, the radiations which are coming from the flame to your hands. So all the three processes you can see in the one example. Okay. So I hope this example is clear. I think these all concepts, conduction, convection, and radiation, are clear. I have given you every aspect. I have given you applications also. So I think these are crystal clear. Thumbs up, guys. Yeah. So we'll some frequent asked questions. We'll look towards some frequent asked questions. Yeah. See, first question. Heat always flows. So 4 options are given. From a colder object to hotter object. Yeah, all right. From a hotter to colder? No. In both the directions? No. Always from colder to hotter. Yes. So that's a bluff. Okay. That's a bluff, guys. What will be the correct answer? What will be the correct answer? I was just checking. Yeah. What will be the correct answer? Heat is always transferring from hotter to colder object. Hotter to colder object. Remember. So that's why you will remember it for a long time, because that's why I have done the mistake deliberately. So now heat will transfer from a hotter to a colder object. So this option will be correct. Heat never flows. This is wrong. Both the directions wrong. Colder to hotter. So the correct option is B. Hotter object to colder object. Clear? So next question. Conduction is the method of transfer of heat in. So where conduction process takes place, physical contacts in mostly liquids, or no, in solids. So the answer will be solids. Yeah, option B, solids. This is clear. Conduction always takes place in solid. So heat from the sun reaches to us. Now this is easily remember. You can remember it in your sleep also. That heat from the sun reaches to us by the process of radiation. The answer will be radiation. Okay. So I hope, guys, all concepts we have learned today, all the three processes, conduction, convection, and radiation, are clear to you. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Okay. But yeah, one thing, if you get any type of doubt after the class, you can refer to the doubt forum on the askIITians website, where you can post your doubt and get it solved by the expert faculties. Yeah. So thank you so much. We'll end the lecture here. Stay safe and enjoy. Thank you.